Okay, I'm back. Got it all mixed. You can see right there it's mixed. There's still a little bit of blue and you see all those bubbles. Those bubbles are not our friend, but that's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to do what's called a long pour technique. Basically with the long pour, what it does is it makes it go into a nice long stream as you're pouring it, and it works out most of the bubbles. So I'm going to give this one last stir. Then I'm going to begin the pour. So we'll toss that out of the way. Bend the cup a little so I can get a decent spout. Okay. And here we go. Let's see if it'll show up on the camera or not. So we'll start. Now when you go to pour, you don't want to pour directly on top of your pieces. You want to pour off to the side of them in an empty space. And you want to keep pouring in that one spot. If you move it around, what you end up doing is you trap air that's already in the mold, or in your mold form, I should say, by pouring in one spot and letting the rubber, letting the rubber push the air out of the mold. You eliminate a lot of bubbles and the chances of trapping air up against your piece. Because I'm doing a very, very poor job of talking and pouring at the same time, I'm going to shut up and you guys just get to watch the pour. It's pretty boring, I know, but hey, part of the mold making process. Whoa, I got a little wind, so I got to come down a little lower. I think that's about got it. I'm going to go ahead and scrape the sides and get the rest of the rubber in there just because no point wasting it. Having it a little thicker doesn't really hurt anything. If anything, it'll help make it a little bit stronger mold. At this point, I'm not really too worried about getting extra air bubbles up on top. The air bubbles only matter if they're against the piece that you're working on. Air bubbles anywhere else in the mold will create some voids and weak spots, but they're pretty minimum just from the way that we poured it. And you'll see a few of them work their way to the top, a few of the larger ones. If you were really super concerned about them, like I said, you could actually vacuum degas the mold even after, both before and after you pour it. And what that does is it gives you a really, really solid mold where you're not going to worry about any air bubbles being in there. Zoom in a little closer and you can see that there are a few air bubbles on the surface. Loosen this up a little. See that there are a few air bubbles on the surface. Those really don't matter. They'll pop themselves. Plus, they're not up near our piece. So we've got that. Now we sit back, and in about 6 hours we come back and we'll check it, and it should be ready. There is another silicone that I could have used for this. This is the Omo 30, which has a 30-minute work time and a 6-hour set time at around 72 degrees. There is the Omo 25. It's got a 15-minute work time, so it's a little bit faster to work with, and it's got a set time of something like 75 minutes. So I mean, it sets up really, really quick. So if you're doing, if you're in a bit of a rush to do a mold and get something done, it's really, really nice for that kind of thing. I actually like it for doing 2-part molds, just because you're not burning an entire day doing a 2-part mold where you have to pour and then wait for it to set and then do a second pour. With 25, you can do a 2-part mold in a day without having to wait as long and having to worry about, okay, did this go right? So, turning off the camera and we'll be back in 6 hours.